Planet Parliament. It's forbidden to film proceedings. Those are the survivalists. An eco-disaster is all they've been waiting for. These are the liberationists. They want to free nature from the exploitation of capitalism. Human lives lost, 1 million. Acres burnt, 30 million. Planet Parliament emergency debate, March 2025. Whilst we debate the Amazon burns, you, me, us, we all need to save the rainforest. Tick tock, 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 tick tock.
Hey, you. No filming inside the house.
People have a right to know what really goes on in here.
No filming, I said, or I'll have you removed. Today the House debates the motion, it is too late to save the Amazon. Now, our expert scientists are late, so we will first hear the testimonies of the Amazonians. Mr. President?
I request we observe a minute's silence.
Go ahead.
Everybody, I request we observe a moment's silence in respect of all lives lost in this terrible disaster. A disaster we humans created.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
The forest makes the rain and the water sweet, the air in our lungs and the soil at our feet. So big up the future, respect the trees, get up off your butts and down upon your knees. The forest is the place where all life grows. You made the fire and there's nowhere else to go. We've lost our good life. Help!
Interesting. You make it up, poor farmer. Now we will hear what poor labourer has to say.
I am a simple man, a miner. I have been working every hour of the waking day my entire life. Gold is what brought my grandfather to the rainforest, to pan the rivers. It cost him his health. This was my dad's. He'd use it to mine iron ore with his sweat and blood. He drowned when a holding dam collapsed. I excavate treasures with a huge great bulldozer, and our mines are as big as your cities. The ground beneath the forest is filled with treasures, tin, copper, aluminium, all the things civilization needs. I had high hopes for the future, for my sons and my daughters. What will we do without our Amazon?
Take your seat, poor labourer. If our third poor Amazonian could please address the House. Now, our third speaker speaks on behalf of the Jana, a stone-aged people.
The first time you civilized people sailed up the great forest, you got yourselves lost. You all have starved to death if Sister Forest had not fed you. And what kindness did you show in return? Once you went home to your king, he claimed us as his cattle, and yet more of you returned. You took what was for all, forever free, and yet more of you came. You stole what could have been cut or killed and carried it in your backs, boats and planes. And more, and you took and took, until you took sister air from the sky. Soon you will take sister air from your lungs. You once saw yourselves as the master of nature, but your greed has turned you into the master of destruction.
Well said!
For the forest!
Hear, hear! Well said! Hear, hear! I will have order. We welcome the Honourable Mr. Roberto Trani, founder of Forest SOS, global leader in sustainable forestry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Since the Earth summits in Rio 33 years ago, business leaders such as myself have built our future on the 3 pillars of sustainable development. People, planet, profits. Win-win for all.
Money.
All your hard work literally up in smoke.
But all is not lost. After the debates, I would like to propose a win-win solution.
Oh, thank goodness.
Without prejudice to the debates, of course.
Now we will hear from rich businessmen.
I'm the leader of the world's leading drug company, Amazon Drugs. Modern drugs cures cancer, the most threatening disease, which the medicine comes from the rainforest. The rainforest is completely full of medical plants not yet discovered by science. This is most vital now because climate change brings new diseases, and the Amazon rainforest can be a living laboratory for all the new disease cures.
Thank you, rich business person. A sobering thought for us decision makers. And the survivalist leader.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, the world's population has just passed 9 billion. 9 billion! Thanks to human-induced climate change. It's our party's highest priority to ensure human population decline. No more drugs is just what the doctor ordered! Let nature take its course!
Order! Our next speaker, rich landowner, owns the largest grower of sustainable soya beans.
My family came in this land over 500 years ago, on the first ship to ever sail from Portugal. In here we found a land of wilderness and mystery, and we tamed it. We worked the virgin land, we tended the forest, became exporters of not only soya, but also beef. And we are the best at it. But now, droughts and this weather infect our very livelihoods. The price of meat is simply skyrocketing, so I ask each and every single one of you, what do you exactly expect the poor to eat?
Your profits is all you care about.
Well, the people need to eat meat.
More climate change!
Order! Now, the scientists, could we hear from one of you?
We have been modelling fires in the Amazon for decades and monitoring how climate change has been drying up the forest. Our satellite images have been tracking hotspots during the dry season, and every year there have been more, destroying forests, creating new routes for fires to spread. Now, they have joined up. The feedback effect on climate change has been catastrophic. The huge and rapid release of carbon as trees burn. The complex impact of aerosols in the upper atmosphere. The impact of windborne subparticles on Arctic ice, on human health, on oceans and plants. All of these impacts are well studied, documented and debated. All natural systems are interconnected. The impacts of the fires are global and affect us all. What happens in the Amazon doesn't stay in the Amazon. I'm afraid the scientific consensus of our forecast is that with the Amazon burning, it is now too late to stop dangerous climate change.
Thank you. And now may you hear from our second scientist.
The Amazon rainforest is, or rather was, the Earth's last great repository of biodiversity, the greatest and most diverse tropical rainforest left in the world. Over 390 billion individual trees, of 16,000 different species, home to 2.5 million insect species, more than 2,000 different species of birds and mammals. Why such abundance? Because all these plants and animals thrive thanks to their consistent access to energy, carbon, water, the stuff of life. We've been assessing and monitoring the Amazon rainforest's vulnerability to man-made climate change for decades. We've been conducting regular biodiversity surveys which consistently document rapid biodiversity decline. We've been modelling the collapse of the entire ecosystem and how it affects the global species. All natural systems are interconnected, The effect of the fires in the Amazon may well lead to mass species extinctions on our planet at a scale not seen since the Carboniferous period when the dinosaurs died out.
And may we hear from our final scientist?
I studied the molecular stress responses of plants to climate change. Plants can and do adapt to environmental changes. Evolution is the healing force of our climate change. But the speed at which climate change has been happening since the Industrial Revolution leaves nature no time to adapt. Just as mankind has been able to speed up climate, science has been trying to speed up evolution. We have been working on plant adaptation through selective breeding to protect life. I agree with my colleague. What happens in the Amazon doesn't stay in the Amazon. All natural systems are interconnected. The implications of the fires for the medicine, for food production, plants, diseases, new pests are catastrophic for humanity. In conclusion,
But the end?
sorry, my mistake, just a moment.
No mistake. If we don't all stop consuming, it's the end. For all of us.
The House will now adjourn for lunch.
The Amazon burns, and our honourable leaders and comrades are just sat stuffing their faces and arguing. Time to agitate.
Trying to stop that prizes was time and taxpayer money. Millions worth of dead. Humans deserve to know.
All life is sacred.
We must find the money to save the Amazon.
It's too late for that now. Nature's law is the survival of the fittest. That's rich people speak.
Unless we stop climate change, the fires will just start all over again.
We need to come up with answers to climate change.
So far, nothing's worked.
Why don't we suggest a global climate change conference for scientists to prefer new solutions?
You've got enough solutions already. The rich and mighty don't like it because they'll have to do without.
Our scientists will come up with a solution.
But what if they don't?
Business will come up with answers.
But what if they don't?
This cake's really good.
Anyway, maybe it'll rain.
It's our fault. The forest is burning. We have to.
Just finish your dinner.
Don't let anyone fob you off. It's your future.
Mr. Charlie's working on a new solution. In the meantime, we don't want people to panic.
Nobody wants panic. We all just want to go home, put our feet up, have a beer, watch the footy and worry about what the weather's going to be like next day.
Mr. Charlie is very grateful.
After the rain comes the sun.
Wrong way around, mate.
Oh yeah, after the sun comes the rain.
Attention, everybody! Attention! Wildfires have been spreading throughout the Amazon, in Peru, here, in Ecuador, Colombia, and Venezuela, Bolivia, Ghana, Suriname, and French Guiana. In the last month, the fires have been spreading throughout the Brazilian Amazon, but alas, there's some good news.
Here we have a low front moving in over the ocean. The reservoirs are squeezing together, bringing storms and heavy rain. As early as tomorrow morning, we will see rainfall in eastern areas of the Amazon. As this front moves across the region, reservoirs tightening into tropic storms, we will see rain across the entire region. Rain and more rain.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Incy Wincy Spider climbed up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came sunshine, dried it all away. Then Incy Wincy Spider climbed up the spout again.
Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock.
Before the debate begins, I'd like to give special thanks to our weather forecast for their excellent news. Very timely.
I object to your implication, Speaker.
We will now debate the motion put forward by the opposition. It is too late to save the Amazon.
With
But is it? Really?
With respect, Mr. Speaker.
If the Honourable Leader of the Opposition would wait his turn.
We all need the Amazon. And everyone should pay to save it. The government wants to propose a new rainforest tax, and this will fund firefighting and wild replanting and...
It's a waste of money. You need a bloody miracle.
You need a miracle. This is
Everybody! Harmony is your solution.
What are you planning on doing? Feeding the 5,000, Grandma? Wait, sorry, wait a minute. Have we got a nurse anywhere? She's not breathing! Can we get a nurse in? She's not breathing!
Oh, this is your fault. You and your mock and marble.
Just shut this! She's not breathing! I will do something!
I'm sorry.
I killed her. Oh my God, my mother, forgive me.
Get your hands off me! Gay! Lying bastard!
Where have you hidden them, Johnny?
Get your hands off me, you filthy little scum!
Got them.
It's just some lumps of coal, sir.
Not coal. Fossils of plants. Carboniferous period.
Coal, fossils, whatever. The old lady gave them to me.
I don't want your blood money.
Can you extract plant DNA from fossils?
Yes, in theory.
Can you backbreed Amazonian trees?
I think so. What we need.
Can you replant Amazonian rainforests?
Yeah.
Forest SOS will give you what you need. We can stop carbon, we can change climate change, we can, if the Parliament is willing to fund us, we can double tax every taxpayer's penny.
Penny for penny.
It's a win-win solution.
Oh,
You back me up on this.
Tick, tock, tick, tock.
Everybody see for yourselves whether you can trust the word of men like Trani.
Get your hands off me!
Well, what now? What are we going to do with this child? What do we do?
Anyone got a suggestion?
We're all solutions together.
Come on, Panic Parliament, now!
We need solidarity. That is what we need. If you're not part of the solution, you are the problem.
I'm Laura and we're all Salford University conservation students. We're all passionate about the environment and we've just been to the Amazon in Brazil.
I'm Sevin. The Amazon is the most amazing place I've ever been, one of the most beautiful and diverse places on the planet.
I'm Ellen. We've seen the Amazon rainforest, we've felt it, and we know the effects of climate change firsthand.
I'm Jenna. Climate change is happening. Water levels are rising higher than ever before. The forest is burning.
I'm Polly. We got to meet the people of the Amazon and see how the climate change is affecting them with the pollution and the waters.
I'm Jess. Climate change is happening, it is real, and we've seen evidence of it in the Amazon.
This is reality. Our reality. Not a play.
Thank you. What you thought was fiction could be a glimpse of our own future. I'd like you to all close your eyes. Everybody in this room, if you'd like to all close your eyes now, please. Everybody, put your hands up with your eyes still closed. If something in your past still worries you, no need to share what it is, just put your hands up and reflect. Have a time to think about what it is in the past that worried you. Why did it worry you? Why does it worry you still? Maybe because you didn't do anything about it, or you did the wrong thing. Okay, brilliant. So put your hands down. with your eyes still closed, hands up anybody now, who has a worry about the future? Again, no need to share. It's your worry, a problem. You don't need to know how to tackle it. Is it something you can't sort on your own? Okay. Hands down. Keep your eyes still closed for me. Now, hands up if you have a worry in the present. Right here, in this room, this moment. I've got a worry in the present. If you haven't, that's great. If you haven't, keep your hands down. Okay, hands down. Eyes open, everybody. So that was interesting. Several of you had worries from the past or about the future, but only a few were actually worried about the present here, right now. Because we make the future in our present, and we can remake the past too if we want to. Nobody is without power when we all act together. So, we do have a few placards. Thank you. Please can you just place them on here for me? Thank you very much. What I would like you all to do is come and have a look at these placards, and now take a placard to, represent what it is you believe in. This time, this is real. We're not actors anymore. This is us. Please, go and have a look at your placards. Once you have a placard, please take your seats again. What we need to do is we need to believe we must and can and we will continue to protect our planet.
It's Laura again. We wanted this to be not a performance, but something real to teach you guys about how to make change and how to make action. We have launched our own campaign here at the University of Salford. We're launching our own big idea where we want everyone to start planting trees. If you're here at University of Salford, you can go and vote, you can go and make a change. You can start rewilding our campus, making the air cleaner, bringing back the wildlife. If you're from a different institution, please go home, talk to your teachers, talk to your parents, talk about planting more trees. We're trying to show you that on your own you might not be able to make a big difference, but together we can all make a huge difference. All these little steps that we take can be the little steps that lead to the big changes. So if anyone has any questions about what you've learnt today, anything you've learnt in the workshops, anything at all, you can ask all of us, our conservation students, and anyone else in the room as well. We all had questions this morning, so.
Yes, so if anyone's got a question, please feel free to ask away.
What's the elephant in the room?
Sorry? What's the elephant in the room, guys?
You mean things that we haven't spoken about yet, or we plan to find out?
Or things that we're struggling to talk about, yeah, the bigger issues.
I think people struggle to talk about the impact they can make on their own. I think a lot of people need to come out and say, I want to make a difference, but in order to do that, I can't necessarily do it on my own. So I think the elephant in the room is people being ashamed, maybe, of wanting to be an activist or wanting to make a change in the way they live every day. I think that's the elephant in the room. So if everyone overcomes that elephant and says, I want to be part of this movement, then that can be a really big
If you want to make change, never wait for anybody. Don't wait for the news, don't wait for the government, don't wait for anyone. If you want to make that change, it's up to you to do that and to gain followers, because that is how you'll influence a lot of people.
Yeah. Thank you. Have we got any more questions?
Are we all responsible, or are some people more responsible than others?
I think we are all responsible, but industrial companies and things like that, they
have a much bigger responsibility because they have more power and they have more influence.
It's like someone's got a placard here which says buy local, and that's a good thing to do because that's a small change you can make. Using big companies, they have the big air miles, they exploit workers, they tear up the rainforests and other small places. You're looking locally, you're buying more eco and reducing that carbon footprint and hopefully promoting more eco living and shopping. It doesn't need to be expensive either. It could literally just be like someone on Etsy or like a local shop or something like that.
Yeah.
Or even find if you guys want to eat meat, buy it local or at least European. Try not to get it from the Amazon or see where it comes from. The bigger, small changes you can make.
I think it's like what Roberto Tirani stood for in the piece that we just performed, is he really represented that rich businessman who was making profit on, you know, on the local businesses, and I think that goes to it, doesn't it? He represents that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got any more questions?
What are the benefits of the rainforest and how does it help the planet?
So you can think of the Amazon rainforest as like the lung of our planet. So obviously we know how trees work. They absorb CO2 and they breathe out essentially oxygen, which is what we breathe, all the animals breathe. We need it, as the scientists said in the performance, it's the stuff of life. And the Amazon cycles water and air, and so we need all this stuff, not just for ourselves, but for the rest of the ecosystem, the rest of the environment. And if we lose the Amazon, one of the big, of the lung of the planet, essentially it's going to send all of our ecosystems, everything, into complete chaos and haywire. And you've got to think what kind of action we need to stop that from happening.
So paraphrase to David Attenborough. Well, good choice of person to quote, but the Earth's natural resources are our most valuable resource, but they're not indispensable, and they will run out as well. So you need to be very careful on what you're doing and just try and reduce your exploitation of nature, whether it's what you eat, how many miles you drive, anything like that, because we've only got one planet, and once we run out of the natural resources, we're done then. So.
Yeah. Just to go off the line is that if indigenous people will use the forest as natural resources, so there are special plants, like plants that they would use to fight against diseases. We met a group who would use a plant to prevent malaria and yellow fever. So then they have that resource. If anything happens to that resource, it's going to be catastrophic for people involved, for families and for children as well. So to take respect to the forest is the most important thing that anyone can do.
What will you make the biggest difference in your opinion?
Well, I think the little steps are important. Like we said, everyone's placards that they got now are little things that everyone can do. So not necessarily just doing one thing, just little things every day, but especially if we're talking about the Amazon here today and that they're cutting it down and it's burning, planting a tree, definitely, no matter where that tree is in the world, it's still contributing to the ecosystem and it's still bringing back wildlife and it's still giving us air and oxygen. So I think planting trees is a very important, or just supporting protected areas, protecting the environment. These are steps that we can do as people, as individuals, and still make a difference.
It's amazing to see on your placards these words, and it's really, I mean, we appreciate it so much, but these are just words. If you can take these words on your placard and make them true, you're not only helping us with research and for the future, you're helping yourselves, you're helping future generations, you're helping science to make that difference.
I think the key thing is that you've all acknowledged with your placard, like Sabine said, that there is a problem. You can only do such a simple thing, just something as like not chucking away a plastic bottle and buying something reusable is something so simple that you all can do, just thinking about it in like 5 minutes or so. This is what will make the difference. Just simple things that even you lot all here can do will make a massive difference to everywhere.
You'd be surprised as well how a minority of people in this day and age of technology can cause an avalanche and a shift of opinion. If you go out there and start a movement, it can do something as simple as a petition, but that's how you get politicians to act, because people power is powerful.
And you guys are at the perfect age as well. If you look at these climate strikes that children, school children, college age students are doing at the moment, leaving school every Friday, and the impact it's had on local communities. People are really listening. This Goethe girl from Sweden, or where she's from, she's up for a Nobel Peace Prize. People your age are the most important people in this movement as well. People listen to you, because as it said, when all those students left their lessons, left their classes. They said, we're leaving our classes, our learning, to teach everyone else a lesson about how important climate change is and how it's happening now. So you guys are like the driving force of this, and it's so easy to get involved with these things.
And now that you've kind of experienced it, what would be amazing if that you could take this and go back and share it? Because sharing is the most important thing ever. Again, I'm going to emphasize on that. You know, no matter if no one listens, maybe one person, 2 people listen, you can make that change. And it may be gradual, but you will make it. And that's what we plan on doing, and what I hope that you guys will do as well in the future.
We've got any more questions? Brilliant.
Going back to Evan's point about plants and animals you saw on the trip, what did you learn about animal-wise that was particularly important to yourself on that trip?
I fully understood how Mother Nature and nature is underestimated. It is insane how much people exploit the forests, exploit the species within these forests. You really get a sense of how indigenous tribes, people who don't have money, people who can just create from nothing and still survive, and yet there are people out there who exploit it for money, who don't fully understand. And I think that's taking the main aim, the main privilege away from people who really have it. And I think it's a massive shame that people don't fully understand what nature can do.
We saw in real time how nature doesn't need us, we need nature. We went to see an old city called Adelphi, where it had been profiting for years and years and years off different kind of imports and exports. And then one day everyone left, and it's only taken a couple decades, and this city has been completely dissolved by the forest, and the forest has completely taken over. And we're killing the rainforest, but and as we kill the rainforest, we're eventually going to kill ourselves. And when we're gone, the rainforest will come back. It doesn't need us. So in saving the rainforest, we save ourselves.
We also met a group of people who were a perfect example of when they're given the means to live, they will contribute back to the rainforest as well. So we met a group of people who take part in the conservation of river turtles. They've had help with education and things like that, and given the ability to live their lives, they're still putting back into the rainforest, so it doesn't need to be a lot of contribution for it to make a positive impact either.
Hi everyone, my name is Professor Jean-Philippe Publi. In spite of my name, I'm Brazilian. I am teaching these guys conservation and tropical ecology, and I am so gobsmacked by seeing all this. It's the first time I actually witnessed such amazing, events, young people. It gives me hope. I've been teaching these guys, and it's great to see the next generation being involved about the Amazon, and then talking about, I get almost emotional here. So thank you very much for all this, and I think Laura will say a few closing words for us.
Yeah. So unfortunately, we're going to have to close our live stream now. Yeah? Sorry, I was just double checking. So please stay in contact with us in any way you can. We've got Twitters, we've got Facebooks, you can go back and watch the live stream again. It's important that you keep in contact so we can keep the trees and the planet going. Please go home, talk to your friends, family, your colleagues, other students about maybe starting your own campaign, and together we can hopefully save the Amazon.
Yeah.